Good morning, this is Michelle Thompson, your academic and legal coach, and I am here to give you your weekly writing tip. Let's see, I need my notes apparently. I used to be a lawyer and then I went into academia, and I loved every moment of both, and one of the things I did a lot of in both fields was write. And so I use this as an opportunity to share what I've learned with you. Also, sometimes you just have a project that is stuck and you're not entirely sure how or why it's stuck. And sometimes it means that you're asking the wrong why, so you don't get the right answer and then the project doesn't move. So I'm hoping that this series of videos that I keep here on Facebook Live and every Friday at 10 o'clock when I come on live, that you actually get something that you can use to move your writing projects ahead. With that said, this has been quite a week. I want to use today to talk about your deep why. I don't mean the letter, I mean, why are you writing what you write? Why do you do what you do? I think in the wake of everything that's gone on, let's just put it this way. This video is going to be a series of questions. And so you may want to take a moment and grab a journal, grab some paper, grab some index cards, and have a pen handy, or open your computer or use your phone, however you're watching this, to jot down some answers to the questions that I'm going to ask you. And it's going to boil down to this: why do you write? Why do you do this at all? Why do you write about what you write about? Why does this project mean something to you? Are the reasons for what you write internally or externally motivated? Are they projects that you drive, that you want? Or are they projects that other people want for you, or actually ultimately for themselves? So what you might be wondering, Thompson, you seem to have gone off a little bit. What does this have to do with writing? Here's the story. This week, last Saturday, a really shitty event happened in our country. A deeply troubled man, for many reasons, walked into a gay nightclub and killed 49 people. Outright. It's just hard to even take that in. And another 50 people were injured by his actions. And what happened in Orlando is just deeply troubling. It's deeply troubling for each and every single one of us. For me, that hits the spot that my professional work life and my deep why started in the gay community. It started in the gay community in Washington, D.C. I did a summer internship at Whitman Walker Clinic, and I was hooked, and I could go back further about what pulled me to working on HIV/AIDS work with people, but I'm not going to. I was hooked, and I applied for a fellowship to create a job for myself there. A year later, after I graduated, and I won it, and I went to DC totally excited about serving this community. I got to provide legal services for people living with AIDS. And my services actually touched people in Anacostia, at the time one of the most impoverished and segregated areas of Washington, D.C. That was my deep why. And I had never had a doubt about getting out of bed in the morning or the rightness of what I did. And excuse me, I'm tearing up. And I knew this when I went to college, when I went to law school, even when I worked and earned my doctorate. I knew that I always wanted my work to have a massive impact on the largest number of people. And I still feel that way about my academic writing. I feel that way about all sorts of things. That's why I do these videos in part. It's why I get out of bed in the morning, sometimes at 5 a.m. to write regularly. It's not unusual that if you actually sent me a note at 5 a.m. that I could answer it, and then I would shut it off so I could actually write. That is my deep why, that I want to have a really good impact on other human beings in this earth. And it's events like Orlando that make us have to ask, what is your deep why? Because if you can keep track of why, your why, not somebody else's why, your why, You can cut through all manner of writing problems, including procrastination, including perfectionism, right? These are the kinds of things that bog down the project that we actually really care about. And if you can remember when you sit down, why am I doing this? This can help. It can give you the motivation to just put something on that screen, that page, however you do this. Now, maybe you don't have a deep why, and that's okay. It's okay if you don't. But I think it's really important to find that deep why and to connect with it for anything you do in this life. You want to be able to tap into a deeper motivation and deeper purpose for your writing. So here's some questions for you. Like, I do these videos targeting generally generally people who are in academia or are in law. And if you're not there, that's fine. But I'm going to ask you some questions that might seem very targeted to those people, and then you can rework them to make sense for you, right? Why did you go to graduate school? Why did you enter that law school program? What is it that you were hoping to do, accomplish, become at the end of that process? What was compelling about the project that you picked? If you went to a doctoral program, your essay was actually a proposal about what you were going to do, what your dissertation was going to be about, what your research was going to be guided for, even if you become tenured, right? So what was compelling about that particular topic? If the answers don't actually align with what is true about you, what is true about what you want, then I have to ask you these questions, and you need to tackle those and answer them. Who are you trying to please? Your writing shouldn't be about pleasing somebody else. And boy, there's a video in that. But who are you trying to please? Why are you trying to please that person or those people? Why does it matter what everybody else thinks? What do you gain by trying to please everybody else? Because you get something out of it. That's very clear. I think that's why many of us do. What do you gain by untethering yourself from their approval, from what they want for you? Those are the questions that I would actually sit down and answer for myself. With that said, there's nothing bad, and I said this before, about having external motivations. It's good. It's all good. You know, and parents, I am a parent, we often try to impose external motivations upon our children so we know that they're okay. My mother, for example, had 3 options for us as growing up as young people, right? That when we were adults, there were 3 possibilities for what we were going to do to take care of ourselves in this life, right? Here are the 3. It'll surprise you. We could either become doctors, we could become lawyers, or we could get a CPA. We could become CPAs. That was the narrow 3. As an immigrant, she wanted to make sure that we could take care of ourselves in this place that was new to her. And so becoming a lawyer for me actually started very much as an external goal. It wasn't, I don't know if that it wouldn't be the thing that I would pick, but I don't know that it was. But what was not my mother was that I decided to work for nonprofits. I decided to work for people with AIDS. I decided to work with a trade union for healthcare workers. That was not on program. And that was the only way that I could actually figure out to practice law in a way that made it worthwhile for me to get up every morning and go to work. She wanted real estate, and that just was not going to work for me. I don't do real estate. Every blue moon, if I have a dime or 2, I will buy some. But that's it. I'm not interested in real estate. That was her goal, and that was not going to be adopted to my legal practice. So I'm really, really glad that I didn't follow that. But so there you have an external motivation that got shifted into something that I could take and run with, right? I loved all 7 years of my practice. I would not have made it past 2 years if I did what she wanted. You know, and if I didn't do law, I actually wouldn't have that as a component of what I do in academic writing. I actually use legal analysis fairly extensively in my work. So external motivations can have internal engines in them, and that's important. It gets you to right the ship, if you will. And you can take something and make it your own. my sister and I were probably been very content if we were musicians the rest of our lives. That was not on that short list, you'll remember, right? So we actually, my sister and I both actually do still perform music on our own terms in ways that we want, that means something to us. So we didn't give that up either. It's just not the thing that actually pays the bills. So that's where I'm going to leave it, right? Our deep why. I just want you to take time out, especially those of us who are in academia. It's the summer, we have time to do this. Do you know your deep why? And it's okay if you don't. Do you need help figuring out your deep why? Contact me. Go ahead and send me a message and we can figure out how to talk and figure out getting you the resource for you finding your deep why for why you do this writing business. I think it's important. This is clearly a central issue for all of us. With that, I'm going to leave you with some announcements and wish you a wonderful and safe weekend. I am really excited because I revamped my website this week, MichelleDionThompson.com. That's Michelle with 2 L's, D-I-O-N-N, like Nicholas E. Thompson. It's the name on my page. And I want you to go look at it. It serves you much better. So go check it out. And on that is Tribe of Academic Warriors. I've been talking about this for weeks. I am really excited to extend this offering to those of you in academia. It's a vessel for women in academia to get together to talk about the challenges they have, get some thoughts about how to manage them, get some planning, reduce cost coaching, and a Facebook group for you guys to sound off on each other and receive me as resource as well. So please go ahead and look at that. And keep your eyes peeled for a writing retreat. I can't wait. That'll be so awesome. Okay. And I always do meetups if you're in New York, if you're an academic writer, every Friday, every Saturday, if I'm in town, I do meet up. Be safe. Enjoy your weekend. My heart is with you all. Thanks. Bye-bye.